Okay, so this is the event tick to check for animations and the animation that the character should be playing. So obviously the first thing we're asking is if the character's dead, which is determined by a custom event that we'll look at a bit later. So this goes into a branch, which obviously if the character is dead, true, it will play the death animation. If false, it'll ask the next one where the character's attacking. If so, the attack animation will play. If not, same thing with jumping. It will then go into compare float. This compare float is asking, as it's getting the velocity of the character on the x-axis, and it's comparing it with zero velocity, so not moving at all. If the velocity is equal to the zero, then the character will be stood still, and therefore it will play the idle animation. So if the velocity is greater than zero, then it will go into a new compare float, which will determine all the animations for running right. Here it's getting the velocity of the character again and comparing it with 850, which is 50 more than the max walking speed. So if it's equal to or lower than 850, it will be simply walking, doing the walking animation. However, if it's greater, it will then, the player will start sprinting, and therefore it will play the run animation. It's creating a new rotation because when running left, the player will be rotated 180 degrees in order for the animation to play the other way for running left. So this is the same when the player is moving left, except from the value will be less than 0 as it goes into the minus values when moving left. So here we've got the simple branch for sprinting. We have an input action which is shift. When pressed, it will set the maximum walk speed to our run speed, which is a variable we've made, and then when released, it will take our maximum walk speed down to our walk speed, which is another variable we've made. So here's all my the health for the character. We'll start with the death, and this is a custom event that we talked about earlier. So upon death, it will play the death animation, it will disable any input, and it will disable movement from the character, so you can't move anymore. And then it will say in the variable that we created that yes, the character is dead. After that, we'll have a 2-second delay to watch the animation of the character. Then it will create a widget, which is our exit or restart menu, so that you can then restart the game if you want to. So we've also created this effect where when the player takes damage, it will simply make the character invisible for 0.2 seconds and visible again, and it will make the character flash just a couple of times to indicate you've taken damage. So in order for the player to die, we've made a custom event called Take HP. Once you take HP, once an enemy takes HP away, you will get the death effect, the flashing taken damage effect, and this will minus 25 health off the overall health, which is set at 100 due to this variable. And when our health is equal to or less than 0, then the custom event death will take place, which will go through the animation and end the game. So we've created some health potions that give you HP. Considering your health is above 0, once you run into these health potions, they will take your health, add 25, set that as a new value, and then this is simply limiting your health to 100, saying it can't pick any more up. So this is for all the enemy actions. It's very similar to the player one, but it's a bit simpler because the zombies are sort of limited to a set start and end point, which is shown here in the construction script. When the game starts, it will get the location of the zombie upon the very start of the game. That will be the start location. The walk to here is sort of like a set distance, so walk to here plus start location will create the end location. So the enemy same as the player asking if attacking. If it is, then it has a 0.2 second delay after each attack, so it can't attack you more than once in a very quick succession. If not, is it alive? If it is, this is it then asks about the movement of the enemy. So the movement of the enemy is pretty simple, because it's just got 2 points, a start and an end location. It'll basically, this walking right variable, it will basically, if it's true, it will walk right until it gets to the start location, and then the variable will change to false. Then it will walk left, rotate the animation so it's walking the right way until it hits the end location, and then it will hit true, and it will keep switching between these two branches as it keeps walking from left to right until it dies, where there is no more collision. It does the animation, the death animation. There's a 2 second delay before he disappears out of the world. So down here we've got the attacking the zombie and the zombie attacking the player. So on the player colliding with the zombie, if the player is attacking, then the zombie will die. It will no longer be alive, and it will trigger this branch. If the player is not attacking, then the zombie will take HP from the player, set off the attack animation for the zombie, and then when it does attack, it stops the movement for the zombie, again to stop you from just colliding and dying instantly. So for here we've got a key pickup that you have to pick up in order to open a door to end the level. So we've got a simple rotation which just rotates the key on the Z axis to give it some importance, but here we have when the player collides with the key, it will print the text saying yes, you've got the key. It will then destroy the key, and it will also set off a custom event called give key. So this custom event very simply changes the variable has key to true or false. Okay, so here for the door, I've got two sprites, one closed and one open. If the player has the key, and the door will then open. If not, the door will be closed. So here on the event tick, we've got basically a branch looking at the variable has key. If the player has picked up the key, then this will be true. The closed door sprite will be invisible, and the open door sprite will now be visible. And here we've simply got to end the game. So when you walk through the open door, it will take you to the exit game screen. So when the player collides with the open door and has the key, it will destroy the actor. It will create the widget, which is sort of like the title screen. So then you can either restart or exit. So this is for the potion, the health pickup potion. Similar to the key, we've got a rotation which just gives the potion some importance. And here we're saying if the player collides with the potion, it will destroy the potion from the world, and it will kick off the give HP custom event that we made in the player.